Hello plant lover friends! Well, so for this very first video I've decided to bring you this Astrophytum cacti. I have, if I'm not wrong, like 4 species, and I'll be showing you one by one while I repot some of them and tell you a little bit about them. Alright, so where do these come from? Well, I've done some research and I've discovered that these Astrophytums are native to northern Mexico and southern Texas. I've also found out that the name Astrophytum comes from the Greek word astron, which means star. That's why many people call these star cacti. As you can see, there are 10 of them here, but I only have 4 species. The only one that I don't have is the mysterious one, which I'll show you with a picture, and I hope to acquire that one soon. So let's begin with the most common variety, which is the Astrophytum Myriostigma. These species may come with 3 and up to 10 ribs. These are the ribs. And I've discovered that the most difficult to find are the ones that have 3 ribs. I have one with 4 ribs, but I wish I could find one with 3 to add it to my collection. Okay, so I'm taking off my gloves because it's so hot in here. So back to the Astrophytum. I got 3 with 5 ribs, as you can see, and only 1 with 4. It's so beautiful. As you can see, these species in particular do not have spines. They are like white dots that don't hurt if you touch them. Those are hair scales that are so soft and help the cactus regulate the temperature and protect them from any threat. To be honest, this makes them easy to handle when we want to repot them. Look at this one. It's so alien-like. I also have this one, which I'm not sure if it's rotting. I need to look at his roots and check it. I really hope it's not rotting. Well, we'll see. Then I have this one, which I'm not sure if it's also an Astrophytum Myriostigma, but it looks different, because these do not have those little hairs that the previous ones had. These are softer, and I have these 2 colors. Look at those shades of green. This one is lighter, and I love both of them. They are so pretty. Look at that. This one has like little dots on the ground. Now, let me introduce you to the Astrophytum Capricorn. These ones do have spines, which are long and black. But as you can see, they do not hurt. This one is beautiful. This one has like little dots that form a pattern. Can you see? It's like a V shape. So pretty. I have 3 of them and I love them all. This one also has hair scales, but they follow a different pattern. Can you see? I hope you can see it. So, in case you are wondering, all of these species, except for the mysterious one, which I don't have, these have yellowish white flowers that come from these areoles near the crown. I'll include a picture of the flowers so you can see it. None of mine has had flowers so far, because I got them just a few weeks ago. But I wish they do someday. And finally, I need to show you this unique species. I also love this one. This is the Astrophytum Nudum. This one is the only one that has spines that hurt, so you can only touch it softly. As you can see, it also has hairy scales, like the Myriostigma variety. The spines look like copper or orange, and I only have one of these. I hope to be able to propagate this one someday to have more of them. In case you're wondering, the seeds come from the flowers. Once the flower dries out, you can collect the seeds and propagate them. So I hope mine blooms someday. Well, enough chit-chat. Let's repot some of them and talk about how to take care of these guys. So I'm going to grab this one, the Astrophytum Nudum, also this one. I hope it's an Astrophytum Myriostigma, but you can correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I'm also gonna grab this one, the 4-rib one. And I'm not sure which Astrophytum Capricorn should I pick. Which one should I choose? All of them are so beautiful. Well, I'm gonna choose this one. Yeah, alright. The rest will be spectators. Okay, so I have a rounded pot. I also have a shovel, which is actually a recycled plastic bottle that works for me. I promise I'll bring you a prettier shovel for next video. And I have a tray with some substrate. So I'm going to add a little bit of substrate to the bottom, just a layer, and I'm going to start telling you about their preferred temperature. Well, these species are native to Mexico, so they prefer warm and dry climates. They prefer a temperature that ranges from 20 to 35 degrees centigrade. Okay, well, let's try to take this out carefully. Okay. They tolerate direct sunlight pretty well, but when it's too hot, it is better to protect them. And the minimum temperature that they tolerate is 10 degrees centigrade. So in winter, try to protect them from the harsh cold temperatures. I always like to grab them from their neck. Well, this one doesn't seem to have a long neck, but in order to not harm their spines, I like to grab them from here. This one has healthy roots. Okay, alright. So I'm going to put this one there. Actually, I'm going to set this one aside on the tray, like that. Alright. So I need to check this one first, because I'm pretty sure this one has a fungal infection, or maybe it's rotting. So speaking of the devil, I'm going to talk about the watering frequency. Yeah, this definitely has something. Well, maybe we can rescue this one. Alright, so during the growing season, we're going to water these species every 10 to 14 days or until the soil dries out completely, alright? Otherwise, it's going to rot and we don't want that. Also, try to avoid watering the crown. Here, it is better to water them directly to the base, on the substrate. So I think the only thing I can do here is to cut it here, and hopefully I'll be able to save this one. So the most frequent problem with these species is that they can rot so quickly because we overwater them. My recommendation is to let the soil dry out completely and then water it. At least that's what works for me. Apart from that, during winter, water them once a month or every 2 weeks. They do not really need a lot of water. They are used to long periods of droughts. Well, what about sunlight? I think I mentioned something about it, but anyway, even though they can tolerate direct sunlight, during hot summers it is ideal to provide them with 3 hours of direct sunlight in the morning, and then let them receive indirect sunlight for the rest of the day. Because, they can tolerate direct sunlight, but they are not invincible. To be honest, it would be better to have these cacti, or any cacti, in a terracotta pot. But I do not have any of those right now, so if you have one, that would be perfect. Alright, and finally, what about pests and diseases? Well, in my experience, these have only suffered from mealybugs and spider mites, but nothing crazy. Alright, good boy. Okay, so grab them from the neck and softly try to separate the roots. Okay, this one looks good and healthy. Alright, so I've changed my mind. I'm going to replace this one with this one. In terms of substrate, I like to use a pretty simple mixture for cacti that contains perlite, vermiculite, and earthworm humus that will work as an organic fertilizer. What's really important here is that you use a substrate that allows a good drainage for the cacti, since these guys need that so much. So these are so wet because I've watered them yesterday. Well, as you have seen, except for the one that seems to have a fungal issue, I've added here the substrate that they had before. Why? Because I don't want to stress them out with the repotting. So with my finger, I'm going to dig some holes like this. And I'm going to place them there. To add a little bit of new and dry substrate as a final layer. Let's add a little bit more. Alright, so this is the final result. It looks so beautiful. I love them. Here you can see the difference between all the species. Well, I need to clean the borders of the pots a little bit, but other than that, I love the result. Well, I hope you liked this video. This is my first video and I plan to bring you more content like this. So please give it a thumbs up, share it with another plant lover if you want to, and let me know in the comment section if you have any of these species or maybe you have the Asterias one. You can tell me if you take care of that one differently. Also, if you have any constructive suggestions to take care of these cacti, or for my next video, please let me know. I'm open to any recommendation. Please subscribe and see you in the next video. Bye bye!